Within the heart of a dense, snow-covered forest, an isolated cabin stood frozen in time. Its weathered wooden exterior bore the scars of years battling the harsh winter elements. A group of friends, seeking an escape from the monotony of city life, stumbled upon this forgotten refuge during a spontaneous weekend getaway. As they approached the cabin, a blanket of snow crunched beneath their boots, and the crisp winter air filled their lungs. The snowfall intensified, transforming the forest into a serene, white wilderness. Excitement and anticipation hung in the air as the friends envisioned a cozy retreat by the crackling fireplace. Far from the chaos of the urban world, little did they know, the cabin held secrets that the snow-covered landscape whispered to the ancient trees. The first night passed uneventfully, with laughter echoing through the rustic interior. Yet, as the embers of the fireplace flickered, a subtle unease settled over the group. On the second day, with the snowfall showing no signs of abating, the friends explored the area surrounding the cabin. They discovered peculiar footprints leading to the cabin's entrance, but none departing. Uneasy glances were exchanged, but the allure of the mysterious cabin overshadowed their growing apprehension. As night fell, shadows danced eerily on the cabin walls. Unexplained sounds echoed through the forest, soft whispers that teased the edges of their consciousness. The group gathered around the fireplace, attempting to dispel the mounting tension with lighthearted conversation and board games. A member of the group stumbled upon an old, dust-covered journal hidden among a pile of worn-out blankets. Its yellowed pages told a tale of tragedy. The cabin was abandoned years ago after a series of unexplained deaths. The former occupants had reported strange occurrences, footsteps in the snow leading to the cabin but no corresponding exit tracks, and an overwhelming feeling of being watched. As the friends delved deeper into the unsettling entries, they realized the cabin harbored a dark history. The realization sent shivers down their spines, but it also fueled a determination to uncover the truth behind the cabin's malevolent aura. The third night descended upon the isolated cabin, and with it came an unrelenting sense of dread. Muffled footsteps seemed to echo in the distance, and the friends felt the weight of unseen eyes upon them. Attempts to contact the outside world proved futile, as the snowstorm had severed all connection. Desperation set in as the group realized their isolation. Panic welled within them like an impending storm. Shadows outside the cabin seemed to take form, and the air grew thick with an oppressive energy. A single, flickering lantern illuminated the fear etched across their faces. Attempting to break free from the cabin's ominous grasp, the group stumbled upon the discovery of a hidden passage in the cellar. The narrow, dusty corridor led to a forgotten chamber, adorned with symbols that mirrored those described in the journal. A chilling revelation dawned upon them. The cabin had become a vessel for something beyond their understanding, a malevolent force that thrived on the fear it instilled in those who dared to cross its threshold. As the friends navigated the labyrinthine passages, they encountered apparitions of long-departed souls, their eyes reflecting the torment of a bygone era. Whispers grew louder, filling the air with a cacophony of sorrow and despair. Each step forward felt like a descent into madness, yet there was no turning back. In a climactic moment, the group reached the heart of the cabin's secrets, a chamber that seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. The walls whispered tales of betrayal, anguish, and a hunger that transcended the boundaries of life and death. With a collective gasp, the friends realized they had unwittingly become part of the cabin's dark narrative. The entity, fueled by their fear and curiosity, manifested before them, a spectral figure cloaked in shadows, its eyes glowing with an insatiable hunger. In a desperate bid for survival, the friends invoked ancient incantations they discovered in the journal, attempting to seal the malevolent force within the cabin once and for all. The air crackled with energy as the incantations reverberated through the chamber. As the last words echoed in the frozen silence, the cabin seemed to exhale a chilling sigh. The oppressive atmosphere lifted, and the friends found themselves standing in a cabin that appeared ordinary once more. The footprints outside now led both in and out, no longer a manifestation of an unseen presence. With trepidation, the group ventured outside. The snowfall had ceased, and the forest stood silent, as if acknowledging the triumph over the malevolent force that had plagued the cabin for years. The friends, forever changed by the ordeal, left the once accursed refuge behind, its secrets buried beneath the winter landscape. The cabin, now devoid of its sinister aura, returned to the stillness of the forest, awaiting the next unsuspecting visitors who may stumble upon its frost-covered doorstep. The ancient trees, witnesses to the unfolding drama, stood tall and silent, keeping the tales of the abandoned cabin alive in the whispers of the winter wind. The frozen lake, in the heart of a winter wonderland, where the cold had transformed the landscape into a pristine blanket of snow, there lay a frozen lake hidden within the depths of a desolate area. The ice stretched out like a glistening mirror, reflecting the surrounding snow-covered trees and the steel-gray sky above. A couple seeking an adventure away from the ordinary stumbled upon this frozen gem during their quest for untouched beauty. The air was crisp, and their breath hung in fleeting clouds as they approached the edge of the frozen lake. Intrigued by its icy allure, the couple decided to venture onto the vast expanse, captivated by the idea of capturing the breathtaking scenery from its center. As they walked hand in hand, the snow beneath their boots squeaked with each step, the only sound in the otherwise silent landscape. The couple marveled at the untouched beauty, the pristine white extending as far as the eye could see. Yet, as they ventured deeper, they noticed peculiar markings on the ice, strange symbols etched into the frozen surface, intricate patterns that seemed almost ritualistic. Undeterred by the mysterious symbols, the couple pressed on, the frozen lake beneath them echoing with every footfall. As they reached the center, a subtle unease settled over them, a feeling that they were not alone in this isolated, frozen sanctuary. Ignoring the rising tension, they set up their camera, eager to capture the mesmerizing vista that surrounded them. The daylight waned, and the couple lost themselves in the ethereal beauty of the twilight. The first sign of something amiss was a distant, haunting howl that resonated through the icy stillness. It was a sound not entirely natural, carrying with it a sense of unease that clawed at the edges of their consciousness. They exchanged nervous glances but brushed off the growing discomfort, attributing it to the wildlife inhabiting the frigid wilderness. As night descended, the temperature plummeted, and the couple felt a palpable shift in the atmosphere. The symbols on the ice seemed to come alive, glowing with an otherworldly light. Whispers carried through the frosty air, soft and indistinct, as though the lake itself held secrets buried beneath the frozen surface. Attempting to shake off their escalating unease, the couple hurriedly packed their belongings, intending to return to the safety of solid ground. However, as they retraced their steps, they noticed shadows moving beneath the frozen surface, glimpses of obscured figures that sent shivers down their spines. Panic set in as the couple quickened their pace, the frozen lake seemingly coming to life around them. The whispers grew louder, now more distinct, as if beckoning them to uncover the mysteries hidden within the ice. Yet, with every step, the shadows beneath the surface seemed to mimic their movements, an unnerving dance that mirrored their desperate attempt to escape. As they neared the shore, the couple encountered frosty handprints on the ice, appearing as though someone, or something, had reached up from below. The atmosphere thickened with an eerie energy, and the once pristine surface cracked beneath their feet. The ice groaned and moaned, responding to their every move with unsettling precision. With a surge of adrenaline, the couple sprinted towards the safety of solid ground. The once tranquil lake transformed into a chaotic battleground, the frozen surface erupting with unsettling noises as though protesting their escape. They reached the shore just in time, the ice settling back into an ominous stillness. Breathing heavily, the couple turned to look back at the frozen lake, now a surreal tableau of frozen beauty and underlying menace. The symbols on the ice dimmed, and the whispers faded into the night. The couple, shaken but alive, made their way back through the silent forest, haunted by the inexplicable events that had unfolded on the once enchanting frozen lake. In the days that followed, the couple tried to make sense of their harrowing experience. They delved into local folklore, discovering tales of a lake said to be a bridge between the physical and the spiritual, a place where ancient rituals were performed to commune with forces beyond human understanding. The frozen lake remained an enigma, its secrets buried beneath layers of ice and snow. The couple, forever changed by their encounter, shared their story with others, a cautionary tale of a winter paradise that held a chilling and mysterious power. The symbols on the ice faded with the changing seasons, leaving behind only whispers in the wind and a frozen lake that, to the unsuspecting eye, appeared as serene as ever. The haunted ski lodge, nestled in the heart of a snowy mountain range, surrounded by towering pines laden with the weight of winter, there stood a once charming ski lodge with a dark secret. The lodge, with its rustic facade and inviting glow from within, seemed like the perfect getaway for a family seeking the solace of the mountains. Little did they know, the echoes of a haunting past lurked within its creaking walls. The family arrived on a crisp winter day, the air alive with the promise of adventure. As they entered the lodge, a wave of warmth greeted them, and the scent of burning wood from the fireplace filled their senses. The interior exuded a vintage charm, with creaky wooden floorboards and walls adorned with antique skis and faded photographs. Excitement radiated through the family as they settled into their rooms, eager to embrace the wintry paradise awaiting them. The first evening passed in laughter and joy, with the crackling fire casting dancing shadows on the walls. Little did they suspect that the lodge held a history tainted by tragedy. On the second night, as the temperature outside plummeted, the atmosphere within the lodge shifted. Unbeknownst to the family, the lodge had a dark history, with tales of a former caretaker who disappeared mysteriously one frigid winter. The family, oblivious to the lurking shadows, noticed subtle anomalies, whispers in the hallways, cold spots that seemed to defy the warmth of the roaring fireplace, and flickering lights that danced in rhythm with the unsettling energy that permeated the lodge. The parents brushed off the odd occurrences as mere quirks of an old building, attributing the unease to the unfamiliar surroundings. Yet, as the night deepened, a sense of foreboding settled over them. Footsteps echoed through the corridor when all should have been silent, and the family awoke to find frosty handprints on their windows, seemingly from the inside, as if invisible specters had pressed against the glass. Curiosity turned to unease, and unease to fear, as the family discovered an old journal tucked away in a dusty corner of the lodge. Its pages told the haunting tale of the caretaker, a man driven to madness by spectral visions that whispered promises of an eternal winter. The final entry spoke of an otherworldly force that seemed to seep through the very timbers of the lodge, a force that sought company in the living. The family, now gripped by a sense of urgency, attempted to leave the lodge, only to discover that the front door had frozen shut. Panic set in as they realized the lodge had become a prison, its walls closing in with each passing moment. Desperation fueled their attempts to communicate with the outside world, but the howling winds outside carried away their cries for help. As the night wore on, the family felt an increasing sense of being watched. Shadows moved with purpose, and the temperature within the lodge dropped to an unnatural chill. In a dimly lit room, the family huddled together, their breath visible in the frigid air as whispers echoed through the hallways, a symphony of voices, some lamenting, others beckoning, all tinged with an ethereal sorrow. The family stumbled upon an old attic, hidden behind a creaky door. Inside, they discovered relics from the caretaker's time, faded photographs, weathered letters, and a tattered journal with entries that mirrored those in the one they had found earlier. The attic seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy, as if the past and present had woven together in a spectral dance. In a desperate bid to break free from the lodge's grip, the family conducted a makeshift seance, hoping to communicate with the lingering spirits and find a way to appease the restless energy that held them captive. The air crackled with an eerie electricity as they called out to the unseen, their voices mingling with the whispers that permeated the lodge. As the seance unfolded, the family became vessels for the stories of the past, visions of the caretaker's descent into madness, the anguish of the spirits trapped within the lodge, and the yearning for release. The room flickered with ghostly apparitions, their faces contorted with the pain of unresolved sorrow. In a moment of profound connection, the family understood the source of the haunting. The caretaker, tormented by a tragedy from his past, had unwittingly bound himself to the lodge, and in doing so, tethered the souls of those who had suffered within its walls. The family, now both witness and conduit, pledged to help the spirits find peace. Guided by the revelations of the seance, the family embarked on a quest to uncover the truth and break the shackles that bound the lodge to its haunted past. They delved into local archives, piecing together the caretaker's story and the events that led to his tragic demise. Armed with newfound knowledge, the family returned to the lodge, where the atmosphere crackled with an expectant energy. In a climactic moment, they performed a ritual of release, invoking ancient incantations and offering prayers for the souls trapped in the limbo between worlds. As the final words echoed through the lodge, a profound stillness settled over the once haunted space. The frost on the windows melted away, and the flickering light stilled. The family, exhausted yet triumphant, felt a warmth spreading through the lodge, the release of long-held anguish, and the dissipation of an otherworldly presence. With the first light of dawn, the family stepped outside, greeted by a crisp morning air that held no trace of the spectral cold that had gripped the lodge. As they looked back at the once haunted ski lodge, now bathed in the soft light of sunrise, a sense of peace washed over them. The caretaker's tragic tale, once a haunting specter, had found resolution. The lodge, no longer bound by the echoes of its past, stood as a testament to the transformative power of understanding and compassion. The family, forever changed by their encounter with the supernatural, left the mountain with a newfound appreciation for the thin veil that separates the living from the lingering spirits of the past. The ski lodge, once a vessel of sorrow, now rested in silent tranquility, its stories etched into the annals of the mountains, waiting to be whispered through the winds of winter. The Wendigo encounter. In the heart of a vast, snow-covered wilderness, where the biting winds carried tales of ancient spirits and the towering pines whispered secrets to those who dared to listen, a group of friends embarked on a winter camping trip. Little did they know, their adventure would unravel a chilling tale of the supernatural, an encounter with the Wendigo, a malevolent spirit that roamed the icy expanses. The friends, drawn by the allure of untouched nature, set up camp in a remote corner of the forest. The air was crisp, and the snowy landscape stretched out in all directions, a pristine canvas untouched by the footprints of humanity. As they gathered around the campfire, laughter echoed through the trees, and the flickering flames cast dancing shadows on the snow. As night fell, the temperature plummeted, and the friends huddled closer to the warmth of the fire. They exchanged stories, their breath visible in the frigid air, oblivious to the ancient forces that watched from the shadows. Unbeknownst to them, the forest held secrets, tales of a creature that lurked in the depths of winter, a Wendigo said to embody the malevolence of the frozen wilderness. The first sign of the Wendigo's presence manifested in distant howls, eerie and unnatural, that cut through the stillness of the night. Unease settled over the group, but they dismissed the haunting cries as the echoes of distant wildlife. Little did they realize that the ancient spirit had taken notice of their intrusion into its realm. As the friends retreated into their tents, the forest seemed to come alive with unseen eyes. The temperature dropped further, and a bone-chilling wind whispered through the trees. Shadows danced on the periphery of their vision, and the air hummed with an otherworldly energy that tingled the senses. In the deep silence of the night, one of the friends reported hearing footsteps outside the tent, soft but deliberate, like a predator stalking its prey. Initially dismissed as the product of an overactive imagination, the unease intensified as more members of the group shared similar experiences. Fear cast its shadow over the camp, and the once inviting wilderness now felt hostile and unwelcoming. As the friends huddled together, attempting to rationalize the inexplicable events, they stumbled upon an old Native American warning about the Wendigo, an ancient spirit said to possess those who resorted to cannibalism in the harsh winter months. The realization sent shivers down their spines as they contemplated the eerie howls and mysterious footsteps that haunted their campsite. Determined to escape the ominous presence that seemed to encroach upon them, the friends decided to break camp and make their way back through the snow-laden forest. However, the more they pressed forward, the more the forest seemed to resist their escape. The howls grew louder, and the shadows more menacing, as if the Wendigo itself sought to keep them ensnared in its wintry domain. In their attempt to flee, the group stumbled upon an ancient burial ground, marked by weathered totems and half-buried artifacts. The air thickened with a sense of ancient power, and the friends realized they had unwittingly entered the heart of the Wendigo's territory. The totems, adorned with symbols that spoke of the spirit's wrath, seemed to pulse with an eerie energy. As the group pressed on, the forest closed in around them, the trees seeming to twist and contort as if alive with malevolence. A palpable tension hung in the air, and the friends felt an unseen force guiding them deeper into the heart of the Wendigo's realm. Their breaths visible in the cold, they reached a clearing where an ancient gnarled tree stood, its branches clawing at the starlit sky. In the shadows cast by the ancient tree, the Wendigo manifested, a towering, gaunt figure with eyes that glowed with an otherworldly hunger. The air turned icy, and the friends found themselves paralyzed by a force beyond their understanding. The Wendigo's presence invoked a primal fear, a recognition of an ancient evil that defied the laws of nature. The Wendigo, fueled by the fear that permeated the air, circled the group with an otherworldly grace. Its whispers echoed tales of suffering, of a time when hunger drove mortals to unspeakable acts, and the spirit emerged from the depths of despair to exact its revenge. The friends, now gripped by a terror that transcended the physical, faced a nightmarish battle for survival. In a desperate attempt to break free from the Wendigo's grasp, the friends invoked the ancient incantations they had discovered in the Native American warning. The air crackled with energy as they chanted the words, their voices trembling with a mixture of fear and determination. The Wendigo recoiled, its form flickering as if caught between realms. As the incantations reached their crescendo, the ancient burial ground erupted with a blinding light. The Wendigo, trapped in the ethereal glow, let out a blood-curdling scream that echoed through the forest. The friends, released from the spirit's icy grip, stumbled backward as the ancient totems crumbled, and the malevolent force that had haunted them dispersed into the wintry night. The forest, once alive with shadows and howls, returned to an eerie stillness. The friends, shaken by their encounter with the supernatural, retraced their steps through the now silent wilderness. The ancient burial ground, stripped of its malevolent energy, stood as a testament to the triumph of mortal will over ancient spirits. As the friends emerged from the snow-laden forest, the first light of dawn painted the horizon in hues of pink and gold. They carried with them the weight of a nightmarish ordeal and the knowledge that the Wendigo, once a spectral menace, had been banished by the courage of those who dared to defy its grasp. The tale of the Wendigo encounter would linger in the memories of the friends, a haunting reminder of the thin veil that separated the mundane from the supernatural. As they left the snowy wilderness behind, the howls of the ancient spirit faded into the echoes of the past, leaving the forest to resume its timeless vigil over the secrets buried beneath the snow. The Icebound Ship. In the desolate expanses of the Arctic, where icy winds howled and vast sheets of frozen water extended as far as the eye could see, a group of explorers embarked on a perilous journey. Their destination was an enigmatic icebound ship, trapped in the unforgiving grip of winter. Little did they know, the ship held secrets that transcended the boundaries of time and space, a chilling tale that would unfold as they braved the frigid unknown. The expedition, driven by the allure of the unknown and the promise of discovering a relic from a bygone era, navigated through treacherous ice floes and biting winds. The ship, a spectral silhouette against the stark white landscape, beckoned to them like a frozen siren. As the explorers neared, the air thickened with anticipation, and the crunch of their boots against the frozen sea echoed in the emptiness. The ship, encased in an icy embrace, bore the scars of its long confinement. Frost covered the once sturdy timbers, and the rigging hung like delicate strands of crystal. The explorers, bundled in layers of insulated clothing, cautiously approached the vessel, the only signs of life in the desolate Arctic. As they boarded the ship, an immediate chill embraced them, an ethereal cold that seemed to penetrate not just their bodies, but their very souls. The air was heavy with a stillness that belied the turbulent history of the frozen vessel. The explorers, armed with cameras and scientific instruments, documented the haunting beauty of the icebound ship. In the captain's quarters, a frozen logbook lay open, its pages brittle and yellowed with age. The entries spoke of a doomed expedition, a quest for unknown lands that succumbed to the relentless winter. The last entry, written in quivering script, hinted at an otherworldly encounter, an entity that materialized in the icy mists and claimed the crew one by one. As the explorers delved deeper into the ship's frozen corridors, they discovered relics of a time long past, personal belongings left behind in the desperate escape from an encroaching darkness. The spectral echoes of the crew seemed to linger in the air, whispers that told tales of despair and the haunting presence that sealed their fate. In the bowels of the ship, a cargo hold revealed an assortment of crates containing artifacts from distant lands. Among the treasures, the explorers uncovered a peculiar journal, its entries chronicling a curse that had befallen the ship, a malevolent force that hungered for the warmth of the living. The journal spoke of shadows that moved with a life of their own, icy breaths that whispered in the night, and the gradual descent into madness as the crew faced an entity from the depths of the Arctic abyss. As night fell, the explorers decided to spend the night on the ship, eager to witness firsthand the supernatural phenomena hinted at in the forgotten journal. The temperature dropped further, and the ship groaned with an eerie resonance. Creaks echoed through the frozen timbers, as if the vessel itself mourned the events that had transpired within its haunted confines. In the darkness, the explorers heard distant whispers, soft and insistent, as if the very air held the secrets of the ship's tragic history. Shadows danced on the frost-covered walls, and the temperature within the cabins fluctuated unnaturally. The explorers, wrapped in their sleeping bags, felt an unseen presence moving through the ship, an entity that seemed to linger just beyond the edge of perception. Suddenly, a cold wind swept through the narrow corridors, extinguishing lanterns and plunging the ship into absolute darkness. Panic set in as the explorers fumbled for flashlights, their beams revealing fleeting glimpses of shadowy figures that seemed to move with purpose. The air crackled with an otherworldly energy, and the temperature plummeted to an unbearable chill. In the captain's quarters, the explorers witnessed a manifestation of the supernatural. A figure, gaunt and translucent, stood at the frost-covered window, its eyes glowing with an ethereal light. The entity beckoned with a spectral hand, and the explorers felt a pull, a call from the unknown that both terrified and intrigued. Desperate to escape the ship's supernatural clutches, the explorers retraced their steps through the frozen labyrinth. The shadows seemed to close in around them, and the once sturdy ship groaned as if resisting their departure. In the cargo hold, artifacts rattled in their crates, and the whispers grew louder, forming a haunting chorus that seemed to resonate with the very soul of the ship. As they reached the icy deck, the explorers glimpsed a surreal sight. An otherworldly mist enveloped the ship, swirling in unnatural patterns. The temperature dropped to an extreme, and the entity, now visible in its spectral form, advanced toward them. The explorers, their breath visible in the frigid air, felt a force that transcended the laws of nature. In a climactic moment, the explorers invoked ancient incantations they had discovered in the cursed journal, a desperate plea for release from the icy grip of the supernatural. The ship quivered, caught between the spectral and material realms, as the incantations echoed through the frozen expanse. With a blinding flash, the entity dissipated into the Arctic night, and the mist that clung to the ship dispersed. The explorers, shaken and breathless, found themselves standing on the desolate ice, the ship behind them now nothing more than a spectral silhouette against the wintry horizon. As dawn broke on the Arctic landscape, the explorers, bearing the weight of their encounter with the supernatural, made their way back to solid ground. The icebound ship, now devoid of the haunting presence that had trapped it in a timeless limbo, stood as a testament to the thin veil between the natural and the supernatural. The explorers, forever changed by their brush with the unknown, left the frozen ship behind, its secrets buried beneath layers of ice and time. The Arctic winds carried whispers of the entity that had haunted the vessel, tales that would linger in the annals of exploration as a cautionary tale of the perils that awaited those who dared to unlock the mysteries of the frozen abyss.